Hey, Older Robot here, and it's time for a new MyGM season on WWE 2K22. Starting, I'm going with Sonya Deville and will be taking the helm as General Manager of Raw, up against Stephanie McMahon, who will be in charge of Smackdown. It's going to be a 15-week season with a manual draft, so let's jump into the draft, but first, a reminder of the rules. Each GM will start with a budget of $2.75 million. GMs will take turns drafting one after the other, starting with player 1. There'll be 8 rounds of drafting. After the 8th round, drafting becomes optional. GMs can opt out or draft until they are out of cash. My plan for the draft is to get 10 to 12 superstars, giving me enough to rotate cards and put on tag team matches. I'm not set on who I'll draft yet, but I want to get a few solid fan favourites to start as my champions. Round 1 picks, I'm going with fan favourite Becky Lynch. She'll make for the perfect champion to start out strong. Smackdown are taking Brock Lesnar. A huge pick would have been my men's champion. Let's focus on getting a few women to make sure we can tell a great story there before we look at how the men's title will shake up now that Lesnar is gone. I think I'll go for Bayley. Now I'm not sure if I'll get her to go up after the championship, but a rivalry with her and Sasha, if I can get hold of her, would be good fun, I think. Smackdown's round 2 draft is Kyle O'Reilly. That leaves Sasha free for the taking, and that's one potential rivalry lined up. Smackdown's go for Asuka. That's another big pick from them, and we'll likely see a title battle from her throughout their season. Alright, it's time to shake this up a bit. Let's draft Liv Morgan. Whilst I think of who's going to be my final women's superstar, Smackdown draft Mandy Rose. Alright, let's go for Charlotte Flair. However, it's not a good pick in terms of class v class matchups. I want to start the fight for the title between Becky and Charlotte in the early season, with them potentially having their first championship match at WrestleMania, depending on how the early season goes. And with that, I've spent roughly $1 million of my budget and my women's roster is complete. Next, it'll be time to consider who's left and how the men's championship will shake up. It's SmackDown's turn to draft. They're going with another bruiser in Kyron Cross. Alright, it's time for my first men's superstar draft. Let's go with Xavier Woods, because you know he deserves the title at some point in my season. SmackDown follow up with Trent Seven as their round 6 pick. Next up, there's no question on this one, I want to get Randy Orton in the mix. If I can grab Cena too, we may be able to relive that rivalry and see how it plays out this time around. SmackDown drafted Naomi. I was tempted to put her in when I drafted Liv Morgan. Alright, it doesn't look like SmackDown want to pick up Cena. I think they'd have done it by now, but they must be keeping a keen eye on their budget. So I'm going to grab Samoa Joe first. He's a solid fighter and good to get in my roster. SmackDown take Tamina. It's round 9 of the draft now and we've both got solid rosters, but I want to make the most of the budget, so let's get a few more men superstars and add AJ Styles to the mix. Smackdown follows up with Jewel Gulak. Taking a quick look at my budget, I'm burning through money fast. The first few weeks I'm not going to be able to put on huge performances, especially as I still want to grab more superstars, the first being John Cena. Smackdown's round 10 pick is Mace. Alright, I think one more pick should do it. And I'm going to use the recommendation feature. Let's see who the game thinks I should add to the mix. Okay, Jinder Mahal, let's do it. That's my final draft, leaving $350k in the budget. Turning the tables back to SmackDown to complete their roster. They dressed in Isaiah Swift-Scott, Titus O'Neil, Roderick Strong, Shotzi, and Nia Jax. Alright, it's time to choose my champions. There's no question we're going to start with Cena as the men's champion, a fan favourite, and it means I can choose to set up that rivalry again with Randy Orton. Women's championship wise, I was tempted to go with Charlotte Flair first so that Becky Lynch can win it off her, but it may be more fun the other way around, as I don't think Lynch would like to lose. And with that, the draft and setup of my GM season are complete. I've left just $400k in the budget, which may be a little on the light side, but we've got a solid roster and starting with 2 huge fan favourites in my champions. Who would you have drafted differently? Any suggestions for future match cards? Let me know in the comments below, and keep an eye out for week 1 of this My GM season in a future video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button to let me know. I'll have more videos soon, so if you don't want to miss out, make sure to hit that sub too. But until next time, have a great day and I'll catch you soon.